Hello and welcome back to the Binding of Isaac with Wapco Part 3. Great to have you here, first of all. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't watched the first two episodes and you're not familiar with Isaac, you might want to go back and check those out. I also will be going through a whole bunch of items really quickly here in the store since I've broken the game by this point. And I won't be able to keep up with all the items, but you can look at them on the right there. There's a lot of different wikis out there for information on this game that are very useful. There's also, if you have Android, there's a Binding of Isaac guide that I use myself. Yeah, there's ads, but they're just banner ads, and it's pretty decent. One of the breaks that I do here, and it's the main one I'm doing, is just since I got the Steam sale from last episode, the store is just free. Everything's just free. But sometimes with that, I want to do other stuff, so I come over here to the reroll machine, smash it open, and just start looking for different items that I might be interested. I ended up going for the relic there. I believe that's what it's called. And you can see the items. Most of these items, I'll be honest, I probably know about 40% of the items. That's one that I do know. It's Tammy's head. And it synergizes with Brimstone, which is the big fire red laser thing that we've been shooting off. Tammy's head works once every room, and it recharges, but because I have, I think, AA battery or something, car battery, maybe? No, there's one that, that stores battery power. Anyways, look at that. That's one of my bombs. That's just one bomb going off. And that's because I have sad bombs, which will fire off tears, and my tears are orbiting tears, so that's what I get. Pretty maddening. But anyways, yeah, my Tammy's head has 2 charges, so this is what I make of most rooms here in this game. Most of my beams are ricocheting off the walls and just kind of bouncing everywhere. I also have homing tears at this point. I have Sacred Heart from the last break, which is huge. I find Guppy's Paw, and if you go back there and watch that, it's kind of confusing. I tried to pull out my Tammy's head, and I actually ended up using my blank card of my Hera. Another bomb goes off just to show you how ridiculously far down the frames drop, and just to show you how crazy powered I am. And then Bumbo starts rolling around. This room in here is hilarious because they're all dead from the poison damage before I can even do anything. This is Bumbo, Key Bum, and Mum's Key working together really good here. There might even be some other stuff like my huge 7 luck leading into this a little bit. Also my 55 damage, my goodness. So I'm just showing you, this room, I came into this room, there was a little bit in here, but look at this just build up, and it goes and it goes and it goes. So, yeah, let's jump into the next thing that happens. So a little confession, when I dropped down to the next floor, I left my D6 behind. Some people might disagree with that, but by this point I'm not worried about getting any more items. I'm just worried about basically doing as much damage as possible. And I just kind of wanted to show off like what this clear is like, I mean, look at me. I'm just cutting through every freaking thing in this level in seconds, And here's Chad. Bye, Chad. Out of the 2 items that pop up, Book of Invincibility and Little Chad, I decided to go for Little Chad at the end of it, and neither of those items interest me. I'm already at 2.0 movement speed, so Red Rage doesn't do anything. And yeah, Little Chad and I take off down here, and we go and see what's going on. I'm going to show you a little bit more of how broken everything is in here in a second. When I go into the store, I want to play the Demon Judgment, and I forgot that I had a curse on that dropped bombs. And I think it's Curse of the Tower, and every single bomb is going to do orbiting tears shots. So this is what I'm sitting with. I mean, you look at the time up there. I'm not slowing this down. I mean, a second is taking, look, 10 seconds? I don't know how long that was. I didn't look in time, but the frame rate has just dropped right into the toilet. I thought I'd show you what the room looks like after it's all done. Look at that. Look at everything here. I mean, you could win a run with just what's in this room, basically. I'll show you just a little bit more of some Tammy's head. I went into the store, but there was actually nothing really here that I wanted. I don't even know why I took that. I mean, I didn't need it. And since it's a victory lap, I can only donate 1 cent. So, yeah, that's that. Moving on. We ended up going into the Devil Room, and we took both items even though they don't really do much for us. The range up really doesn't make any difference. Moved down to the next floor. Found the item room pretty quickly, which was nice. Inside the item room were another 2 items that we didn't really need, but we took holy water anyways. Sometimes holy water can be really useful if you take hits, but I'm not taking hits. See ya, Brownie. Devil Room, there was nothing. Went on to fight Mom, and she got absolutely toasted. I think I picked up 2 other items in the meantime that weren't really worth mentioning. Come in here. I passed up my reflection earlier for Boomerang Tears, but now that we have Tammy's head, I thought, you know what, screw it. Mum McGurdy, this was a really, really long fight, and I don't even know how I made it through, but I'm happy I did. Another awesome devil deal. And Dad's key isn't something I need. Moved down to the next floor, and before I could even shoot off Tammy's head, It Lives was gone. So 55 damage, Tammy's head, all my little familiars and followers with me, I mean, didn't stand a frickin' chance, man. Not a frickin' chance. And I continue on. I decided to go fight Hush, which is one of the big bosses in this game. I think maybe the 2nd strongest boss next to Delirium. I use a Yarrow rune in this room just to double or quadruple everything in here. Go in, grab a turret follower, go into the other item room, and of course there's not much really that I want to hear since I have it, pretty much everything you already want. I fast forwarded this part because, I mean, do you really want to sit there watching me just pick up keys for 45 seconds? I didn't grab any of those items. I think I came back for Mom's Pearls later, and I also picked up the Spear of Destiny in that little scene there, which is a weapon that goes right in front of you. Dropped one of my bombs, and you can see how much damage it's doing. This is Hush right here. I drop another set of bombs just to kind of slow the frames down. And you can watch his health just disappear. This is one of my fastest Hush fights ever. It doesn't look that fast because the frames are so slow. But if you actually compared it for seconds versus my other fights, you'd be pretty impressed. And I spent a bit of time in this room before I ended up going down. That top room up to the right, you might have seen that open. That does come into play in our next video. We're going to end up making this a 4-part series because I don't want to make this episode too much longer than it already is. After we fight Satan here, we go and fight the Lamb, and then we're going to pretty much wrap this episode up, I think. And the last episode will be the final victory lap, where things do get a little messed up, but it doesn't slow us down all that much at all. Look at Tammy's head doing its job right there. And I'm going to skip over this because it lasts 15 to 20 seconds, that screen right there. Final Dark Room. None of these chests had anything of interest. I moved on. And the Lamb, you remember how long it took us last time? Yeah. Oh, excuse me. But yeah. Thank you for tuning in this week. That'll be it for today. Oh, this week. See ya.